here's an important hard surface modeling tool that nobody ever talks about, but it's going to significantly contribute to your 3D modeling abilities. If you know this shit, you're going to be in the top 1%. Nobody ever talks about it. Nobody knows this, okay? I was modeling this McLaren 765 LT interior on live stream the other day, and I was making this little AC right here. And I encountered a situation which I'm now going to attempt to simplify and recreate just so I can demonstrate to you a particular tool that you got to be aware of, okay? So here I have a simple version of this AC. We got an outer circle, we got an inner circle, and from the outer circle, I want to extrude some geometry, which I'm going to connect with the middle down here. So I can connect the middle part with the outer part, the middle part. You gotta connect it because it's got this little blade thing which redirects the wind and all this shit. So we're gonna take this geometry and we're gonna bring it down here. But how do we connect this now? What I did here was I took some faces from the bottom and then I inset them with I. And then I can delete these faces, and I could just take these two edge loops here, W bridge edge loops, but that's never gonna be good enough because I don't know exactly how far I'm supposed to inset these two faces, right? How far am I supposed to inset them so that this wouldn't be bent, right? So that these would be exactly the same width. Now you could try to eyeball it if you go to top view. This is a very simple example with only 16 polygons, so you can pretty much eyeball it and you're gonna get pretty damn close, but it's never gonna be perfect. And there are many situations when it's gonna be perfect, okay? So let's just imagine that this is one of those situations where we gotta be exact. This is gotta be exactly the same width as this piece up here. Now, another thing that you have to be aware of is that you cannot just adjust the width of this because my geometry doesn't allow me to just place the 3D cursor up here and use the 3D cursor as a pivot point and scale it down to 0 with the y-axis, because that's going to change the shape of the outer circle. That's going to move it on the y-axis, and as you can see, that causes twisting and it fucks up the shape of my circle, okay? We also can't do the same thing with this geometry down here, obviously, because if we just scale it down to the y-axis, it's also pushed inwards, which is no good, okay? So what you're supposed to do is this. We can place the 3D cursor onto this vertex on the corner. We can take these two edges and we can scale them to 0 on the x-axis. So they're aligned on the x-axis because that doesn't mess anything up. I can slide this along the x-axis all day. It doesn't cause any twisting. I just can't move this along the y-axis, all right? What I'm supposed to do now is find the exact point on this edge, which is exactly beneath this edge right here, so that I can connect these two and I can align that with that exact point. Question is, how the fuck do you do that? I'm going to show you how you do that, all right? You go up here, you check this tool called Auto Merge Vertices, you open up the options, and then you check Split Edges and Faces, and you might want to add a couple of zeros with the threshold, 0.0001 or whatever. And then you're going to take this little vertex, you're going to extrude that. With Z, you're going to push it downwards and make sure it goes underneath this edge, make sure it goes through. And now when you confirm this, this tool creates a vertex on the intersection of these edges, which you're manipulating, right? So now these two edges have a vertex connecting them right here, and this is exactly the point, exactly beneath this vertex on this edge right here. Now we just gotta cut this. You want to disable this tool after you're done using it because you're accidentally gonna fuck something up for sure if you leave it on. And all you gotta do now is press Shift S on this vertex, Shift S cursor selected. Take this edge right here, scale this, but with Shift X in this case to exclude the x-axis, because I don't want this to get shorter on the x-axis. I just want it to be scaled down on the y and the z-axis. I'm going to scale that shit to 0. And now this edge is exactly underneath here, and it's still on this plane of this face right here. So we're just going to merge vertices by distance. And now we can just very easily connect this and everything's going to be fine. Now, of course, you want to do this on the other side and on the back side as well, but I'm not going to show you the same shit again. So just keep in mind the Auto Merge Vertices tool in edit mode. It's a very important tool which allows you to create intersections between edges. If you want to see more tips like this that nobody ever talks about, check out my Blender ebook. In my Blender ebook, I broke down a bunch of different tools. Pretty much every single tool that I ever use in any hard surface modeling project ever. This is the type of shit that people gotta watch tutorials 7 years to learn about, but I put them all in one place in ebook, so you can go check that out. Let me know in the comments what you want to see next. I'll see you in the next one.